In the last section, we finished up the last function inside of our cards project, but I feel like there's still a little bit left to learn out of this thing. I feel like there's still a little bit left that we have to do. So in this section, I want to start talking about the last big thing that we're going to do in this project, which is to figure out how to write some tests around it. I want to figure out how we can write some code to make sure that all the different functions and whatnot that we've put together inside of that deck.go file are always going to work correctly. So let's do kind of a high-level overview on testing with Go, and then we'll dive right in. So there's three big things I want to tell you from the get-go about testing with Go. So here they are. The first thing, and by far the most important thing to understand about testing with Go, is that testing with Go is not like using RSpec or Mocha or Jasmine or Selenium or any other testing framework for other languages that you might be used to. With Go, we get a very small interface or a very small set of functions to help us actually test our code. In practice, writing tests with Go usually ends up being us writing very normal Go code to actually test and make sure that our code is working correctly. And now when I say this, you're probably thinking there like, well, what do you mean by that? You're writing Go code. Well, of course you're writing Go. Well, just bear with me for a minute and you'll see very shortly exactly what I'm talking about. So two important things that we need to understand about testing. To make a test file or to make a test with Go, all we have to do is create a new file inside of our project directory that specifically ends with _test.go. So for example, if I want to create a file that will test some of the code that we wrote inside of the deck.go file, I might create a new file called deck_test.go. Then, whenever we want to run all the tests inside of a given package, we run the command go test at the command line. And so we can actually even run this command right now, even though we haven't put together any tests. So at the command line, I'll simply run go test right now. And you'll get back a message that essentially says, yeah, we tried, but you don't have any test files. Try again later. So let's start off by putting together this deck_test.go file and then figure out how to write a couple different tests. All right, so back in our code editor, inside of the cards directory, so that's our working project directory, I'm going to make a new file called deck_test.go. And so this is where we're going to locate all of our code for testing everything that we put together inside of the deck.go file. Now, remember that every single file we put together inside of a project directory must always specify the package it belongs to, and that includes test files. So the first thing we're going to do at the very top of the file is place package main. Now the instant I do, if you're using VS Code, you're going to start to see some really interesting integration with VS Code pop up. So VS Code knows exactly when you are writing Go tests, and you're going to see these little clickable links appear on the screen that allow you to run all the tests inside of just one block of code or inside of just this file. So run package test means specifically run all the different tests that are tied to this package. Run file test means run all the tests that are defined inside of this file right here. Okay, so doing all the testing stuff is going to take a little bit of time. So rather than just run this section on for many minutes, let's take a break right now, come back in the next video, and start writing out our first test. So quick break, and I'll see you in just a minute.